Police say 51-year-old Stephanie Alexander called 911 to report she had just shot someone. This is a portion of that 911 recording.
Charlotte 911, do you need police, fire, or medic?
I need police. Somebody just been shot in my house. I came home and I had a woman in my house, and I pulled out my gun and I shot, and she's not moving.
CMPD says this woman, 25-year-old Tyra Crosby, was dead inside the home when detectives arrived.
Okay, how old is she?
I have no idea. I don't even know the woman. She's inside my house in the hallway on the floor.
Is she flat on her back?
No, she's on her stomach. I can try to move her on her back. My husband told me don't touch her. Oh, God, what did I do?
Tyra Crosby's family told WCCB News she was invited to the home by Alexander's husband. In fact, according to them, they have an 8-minute recording of Crosby's final moments. They believe Crosby was beaten and shot. The family spoke to us after hearing the 911 call.
I'm angry. I'm upset that for her to go from one emotion to the next. You get on the 911 call, and I have a call recorded on my phone where you're beating my child, and then you call 911 and you're emotionally crying and saying your life is over.
I feel like it's senseless. I feel like she didn't have a chance.
I came home and I had a woman in my house, and I pulled out my gun and I shot, and she's not moving.
In the middle of Charlotte, North Carolina, a very sad story is unfolding, making it to the headlines and touching people's hearts. Tyra Shanell Crosby's story isn't just about a crime, it's a captivating tale that takes us into the twists and turns of relationships, betrayal, and the fight for what's right. As we learn more about Tyra Crosby's case, it invites us to think about the complexities of human behavior and the difficult situations many people face. Come along with us as we peel back the layers of this interesting story, where mystery and sadness come together, and the search for answers becomes the main focus. Welcome to Off the Wall Crimes, Lost Souls Edition. Hit the subscribe button and bell to be notified of more Off the Wall crime stories.
She's charged with the lowest form of murder. I want it up to first-degree murder. Murdered my daughter at 5 a.m. and she was out at 8 p.m. So that means that human life means nothing anymore.
This story is about Charlotte, a big city in North Carolina. It's not the capital, but it's the largest. Charlotte has more crime than most places in the country. There are about 34 violent crimes for every 100,000 people in Charlotte, which is more than the average of 22 for every 100,000 people in the U.S. Tyra Shanell Crosby was born on August 28, 1997. Known for her kindness, she resided in Charlotte, North Carolina, where she lived life to the fullest, cherishing every moment. She was a cheerful, sociable person, brimming with vitality. While she may have had some brushes with the law in the past, her friends and family attest that she straightened herself out and got back on track. Tyra was in a happy relationship with a young man, evident from her social media where she shared videos of them playing and dancing together, enjoying life's little moments. On July 18, 2023, Tyra, who enjoyed going out occasionally, decided to visit a club, which wasn't unusual. During the night, she met a man named Albert Alexander, age 50. They spent time together, drinking, dancing, and having fun. After a few drinks, Albert invited Tyra to his home, and they went there happily. However, unknown to Tyra, Albert was married to Stephanie Albert, 51 years old, who had 5 children from a previous relationship. Despite appearing to be a loving stepfather, Albert was just looking for a fling that night. When they arrived at Albert's home, shared with his wife Stephanie, they continued where they left off at the club and went to the bedroom. Unaware that Albert's wife was at work, Tyra felt comfortable with Albert. But early Tuesday morning around 5 a.m., Stephanie returned home unexpectedly to find Tyra in her bed with her husband. Enraged, Stephanie assaulted Tyra, leading to a violent altercation. Tyra was reportedly tortured and shot, as indicated in a private voicemail left for her mother. Eventually, Stephanie called 911 to report the incident, initiating a conversation with the emergency services. "I came home and found a woman in my house," and I pulled out my gun and shot her. She's not moving. Stephanie Alexander. According to CMPD, 25-year-old Tyra Crosby was discovered deceased inside the residence when detectives arrived. Conversation on the phone. Police and Stephanie Alexander. Police: how old is she? Stephanie: I have no idea. I don't even know the woman. She's inside my house, lying on the floor in the hallway. Voice shaking. Police: is she flat on her back? Stephanie: no, she's on her stomach. I tried to move her on her back and my husband told me not to touch her. Voice shaking. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department dispatched personnel to her house, which she did own, by the way. Upon their arrival, she directed them to where Tyra was, and they discovered her lying on the ground, tortured and fatally shot. Stephanie, who was the homeowner, was 11 immediately taken in for questioning as the primary suspect at the police headquarters. After the interview, Stephanie was charged with voluntary manslaughter. Tyra Crosby's family informed WCCB News that she was invited to the home by Alexander's husband. In fact, according to them, they possess an 8-minute recording of Crosby's final moments. They believe Crosby was beaten and shot. The family spoke to us after listening to the 911 call.
Simply here, begging and pleading for justice for my child. I am just grateful that people want to push it, want to get on board on one accord.
Hostage inside their home, brutally beaten.
This lady murdered my child at 5 a.m. and was out at 8 o'clock.
Criminal defense attorney Mark Jiffin, although not directly involved in this case, was consulted to provide his expert opinion regarding the voluntary manslaughter charge against Alexander. After reviewing the 911 recording, we sought his insight.
Just because it's a heat of passion situation doesn't always mean manslaughter is the correct charge. The difference is, in a murder situation, it's premeditated, it's deliberate.
Police also questioned her husband, who described the events. Afterwards, Stephanie was taken into custody and transferred to Mecklenburg County Jail on Tuesday, July 18th, around 6 a.m. Surprisingly, she was released on a $250,000 bond by 2 p.m. that same day, spending just 6 hours in detention. This quick release greatly upset Tyra's family. In response, Tanya Hoskins, Tyra Crosby's mother, provided the voicemail evidence to the CMPD, urging them to upgrade the charges. She firmly believed that her daughter's death warranted a more serious charge. Tyra Crosby's mother insists that Tyra was invited into the home by Alexander's husband, unaware of his marital status or ownership of the property. She stresses that Tyra was not trespassing but was actually welcomed as a guest. Additionally, Crosby's final plea for help, captured in a voicemail to her mother, reveals the assault she endured before her tragic death. Hoskins hopes this evidence will lead to more severe charges against Alexander, who currently faces the lowest level of murder charges. Despite initially being charged with voluntary manslaughter, Alexander was quickly released on bond. Hoskins vows to pursue justice tirelessly, urging authorities not to overlook the injustice her daughter faced. Tyra's heartbreaking voicemail depicts a harrowing reality, with Hoskins alleging that Tyra's death was orchestrated by Alexander's wife, resulting in a second-degree murder indictment. Despite suspicions about the husband's involvement, he remains uncharged. Hoskins points out that Stephanie's patience could have prevented this tragedy, but she must now face the consequences. While the unfaithful husband evades accountability, Tyra's loved ones seek justice in her memory.
She was our angel, our flower, murdered unnecessarily, lured to a home, and brutally beaten and murdered.
This tragic murder case offers several moral lessons. Firstly, it highlights the crucial importance of communication and honesty within relationships to avoid misunderstandings and potential harm. Secondly, it underscores the severe consequences of infidelity, which can lead to devastating outcomes for all involved parties. Tyra's attempt to call her mother for help emphasizes the significance of seeking assistance in dangerous situations and reaching out to trusted individuals for support. Moreover, the escalation of violence in this case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked aggression and the need for interventions to prevent further harm. Tyra's family's determination to seek justice despite initial setbacks demonstrates the importance of persistence in pursuing legal recourse and holding perpetrators accountable. Additionally, it underscores the need for individuals to be aware of their surroundings and potential risks, especially when entering unfamiliar situations or relationships. The case also highlights the importance of providing support and resources for survivors of violence and their families to cope with trauma and seek healing. Furthermore, it prompts a critical examination of the legal system's response to cases of violence, emphasizing the need for fair and equitable treatment of victims and perpetrators. Lastly, it serves as a call to action for community awareness and advocacy efforts aimed at addressing issues of domestic violence and promoting safety and justice for all individuals, ultimately aiming to prevent similar tragedies in the future through education, advocacy, and intervention efforts targeting the root causes of violence in society. Our heartfelt condolences go out to the family during this difficult time. May you find strength and comfort in the memories you shared with your loved one. You are in our thoughts and prayers. Thanks for watching Off the Wall Crimes, Lost Souls Edition. Please stay safe out there, and see you guys in the next video.